Here's why I think real estate agents need to know that AI is coming and that the way they need to start using these tools is not the way that they were expecting, guys, because really we are about to enter the renaissance of the software era is what I truly believe, because for the first time we're going to take back the mantle from Zillow. We're going to take software back. Because, guys, look at this. This is something I was making today with Claude. It's a Pinellas County. We have the Pinellas Trail here. And so folks around here often, they want to know, they want to live along the trail. They want to know what dining options are there near the trail. Are these along the trail? All that stuff. And so I made this tool for them. And what's really cool is I actually have to log out because I put this tool behind a paywall. And so my thought process is, instead of running ads to IDX websites, why not run ads to tools like this? And so that's really the reason, guys, that I'm so excited about AI is because of these possibilities. Now look at this. So this is my website, right? Now look at this. You see how it's got a brand, it's got a certain style, it's got a certain font, and it's completely custom. It's unique. It's got, and this is what I'm saying. When I'm saying that realtors have to be themselves more now than ever before, it's because the ability to be yourself is there now. And so I used AI to build this. Here's another thing, right? This is my newsletter. I used AI to write this newsletter, but I had AI base it off of my most recent YouTube video so that it's not taking internet stuff and using AI to rewrite internet stuff that's not me. It's taking my voice that's on the internet, my nuance, my expertise, my specialized insight on something, and then it's using that to guide the style, tone, and voice in the blog, and then it's writing a blog. That's what's crazy, is it's writing a blog, and then the blog is based in the video. And so then the blog, right, I'm having the AI write the blog, use the video to write the blog, but then back up what I'm talking about in the video in your blog with additional research, and then here's where you do all that SEO, all that backlinking, all that here. And then in my newsletter, write my newsletter, design my newsletter, plug in the new FHA, all that, and then do all that. And this is all done AI with Claude Code, which is, guys, a big reason. Here's where I was working on it, right? Okay, wait, not that one. Here it is. Boom. Right? Okay, so this was that newsletter that I just showed you right here, back here. I said, okay, follow the design and layout established in this HTML, but write one new one to Tampa. I'll send this email. Let me start. Boom. Right? Okay, so that's how I did it. So this is why I'm kind of tempted to just kind of start us with Claude Code, because really with Claude Desktop, it's a good place to start, but you guys need to get into the place where you can get to Claude Code, because I can do stuff like this. Like, let me drag it back over. I can do stuff like this. Yeah, I see. We went over Whisperflow in the last one, but okay, check this out. Using Claude and Chrome, I have my Tampa relocation guide open. Can you look at it and I guess rewrite the newsletter based on some of what's available in the relocation guide? Like, I really like this tool that we have that lets them go and calculate like how far they are from each of the downtowns. They can toggle between neighborhoods. I like that tool a lot. I think I'd like to mention that more in the newsletter. I think that would be valuable. That's how you use AI. That's how you guys use AI. That's how I'm using AI. I'm using my voice. I'm not typing. I'm being more productive. People are like, how do you be productive with AI? That's how you be productive with AI. I'm serious, guys. This sounds crazy to me, but this is what's wild, right? Is I just asked it to do this, and it's doing this literally in here, right? Like, now it's taking control. Now it's moving in, it's going to move in my browser. Now it's saying error, something. But it's going to fix itself. This is what's crazy, is it's gotten to that point now. Okay, let me drill into the interactive tools section. The client stories pull up specific details. Let's see it go. So, do its thing, and it'll work. But Claude and Chrome, we'll probably set up Claude and Chrome in another video, because Claude and Chrome is huge. The reason Claude and Chrome is so big for me is because literally it will move things in your screen. But I want to start us with how to get our history out from whatever large language model we're used to into Claude. And so we're going to start with Claude today. I'm going to go open up Claude, and basically you're going to paste in this prompt right into whatever large language model you have, and it's going to give you the history, and then you're going to paste that right into Claude, and that's how easy it is. And the way you get this is you go into settings, then you go to capabilities, and then you're going to see generate memory from chat history. Turn that on. The reason this is off is because Anthropic wants you to be a little more intentional with the way you go about managing your memory, because I think they just really want people to know how important it is to really be maintaining these things, to clean them out, because truly it's like different. It's like, imagine if you had a friend where you could literally just go in and write exactly what they remembered about you. Like, that'd be something you'd maintain every day. Like, I would undo heard me fart on Tuesday. I would undo that stuff, and I would only put stuff that I wanted them to remember. That's really how you have to treat AI, but this is your employee. And so you take this prompt and you copy it. That's the one that we just had, and then paste it into whatever the large language model is that you have, and it's going to return something like this, which is going to have a lot of exact instructions. And what's cool is there are timestamps around these phrases for connection, preferred phrases. And so this is an easy way to just get a bunch. And you're probably looking at this like, Aaron, I thought you said no coding. I don't like this. This is all a little confusing, a little hard to read. And guys, don't worry. You do not have to read this. All you do is copy this and paste it in. Don't worry about not being able to read it. You'll get better with time. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Go easy on yourself. The reason I say all that is because we're going to talk about this, how I talk to AI, and the importance around this, and the reason why you don't necessarily need to know that. And so that's what you saw is markdown. And the way I'd explain this to you is the way I want you guys to look to AI is like it's another employee. And so if you look at it like another employee, you just got to remember that this employee actually is able to communicate with its coworkers, with its other AI coworkers, in its own native mother tongue better than in its second tongue, which is English. And this makes a lot of sense to me, maybe because I grew up in India, half Indian, so I know that it just makes more sense. Some things in my head make more sense in Hindi than in English. And so it makes sense to me that the AI would communicate to itself when it's communicating with other AI in the language that makes more sense, in Markdown. And the reason the AI understands Markdown more than this is because all Markdown is really doing is just like these hashes just explain that this is the header for like this kind of section text. And so what we do is we kind of make the font, we make the text a little bigger and bolden it, which makes sense to humans. That's kind of how humans see, okay, that's obviously the author is trying to signify to me that this is an important title. And so to humans, the bolden with it bigger makes sense. To AI, the Markdown makes sense. It's a little more structured, a little more clear. To us, it's just like, why would you do that? It's hard to look at. But again, computers are different. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah. Context versus memory. So context, difference between that is it's going to be case to case. So you might have a situation where you're asking the AI to do a CMA for a new construction house versus a historic bungalow. So the context for those situations are going to be different, even though the instructions are going to be the same, and the memory the AI has for how it does this task might be the same. Use this font, use this website to do your calculation, use this calculator, use these tools. That might all be the same, but the context might change, and you might have information in the memory that explains on how to navigate situational context and nuance. And the way I'd look at this really, guys, is this is where you can get very, very customized workflows with AI, because you can have project-specific instructions. So for instance, you could have instructions, okay, for all listing descriptions, follow X, Y, and Z instructions. But then you might have contextually specific instructions for certain neighborhoods, certain types of listing descriptions. And so as you continue to build out AI, I wouldn't worry about how complex it can get, just like I wouldn't worry about what life would be like with 200 employees. Just know that the best way to get started with this is to just start writing things down and starting to communicate your preferences, building your memory, and then just even knowing how these things use. Now, really, here is one thing that I want you guys to notice is a big difference in like tool use, and why this is so big is a lot of us that used ChatGPT when it first came out, we asked it to do some simple math, simple arithmetic, and it failed. The reason it's no longer failing is rather than asking the LLM to perform the math problem with and you know, like remember the answer, that's not a good solution for working with AI. We're just giving it tools like, hey, when you're asked a math problem, you input the information in this calculator and then relay the response from the calculator back to the user. And the reason I like this is because you can use AI to make tools that I know are not going to break and are rooted in just like, here's an example. Like, for instance, like if I go Crescent Lake here, like this tool I made with AI, this is a calculator, but the thing is I made the code with AI. Okay, I guess it pulled up this, but the actual information, the actual data, the actual tool, the calculator is all built just a standard calculator. And so this is why AI is just so cool to me, is because rather than telling users, oh yeah, this property is in a flood zone or not in a flood zone, responding that way, I just connected to this calculator. And then if I wanted, I had a chatbot here where people could go in and chat and say, is this property in a flood zone or not? But general public is not ready for that. And I took it off because as a whole, trust is low. So people mistrust AI. And so promoting a bunch of AI on your website is really not going to help you guys, I think, right now, with leveraging AI to close more business. I think generally the public has a lot of mistrust around AI. Okay, did AI give you wrong answers? A lot of people say this, AI gave me wrong answers, AI doesn't know how to answer questions, AI can't do this, AI can't do that. The reality is it just doesn't have enough context into that problem, more likely. More likely it can answer questions about how to run comps in your specific neighborhood if it had the nuance on, oh, these homes are in the golf cart zone and these homes aren't in the golf cart zone. The homes in the golf cart zone typically sell really quickly. And that's all stuff that you would put in the memory files for when you run comps for my neighborhood, the homes on this road and this road and this road. If you look, you'll find that they sell really quickly. That's why. And so you can really start to apply your expertise to AI. And this is what gets really, really powerful. And why building these out is huge is, so a normal question like, what should I do to sell in X neighborhood? Like a question like that, AI is going to say things like have good listing photos, price competitively, but it's not going to necessarily know to say things like, make sure you put your listing up on this Facebook group because everybody is on this Facebook group and a lot of people have relatives that want to move into this neighborhood. And so stuff like that, obviously the AI doesn't know. And so this is where your expertise comes in. And really, guys, with this, I do think it is smart to even be careful now that we're moving forward with AI, if anything, because a lot of people are going to push back to me, say with I don't want to give all this stuff to AI because I don't want to replace myself. I wouldn't see it as replacing yourself. I would see it as you're building your own AI employee. And so putting all of this information behind in a secure database is not a bad idea. This is all proprietary data. This is your value add. And so putting this in Supabase, in a secure database, and we'll probably get into that kind of in later videos. It's obviously kind of more complex. But even if you just have it locally on your computer and you're just using Claude to answer questions to customers, just to help you make things a little faster by answering them based on things in your computer, then that's a good idea. But yeah, the nuance helps. The nuance helps, really. And so with the nuance, it can then begin to answer a lot of questions. And that is really how you can use AI to then write blogs that are going to get good SEO. Because if you use AI to write, we'll get that later. Anyhow, value of expertise. So we have data, and then we have understanding, which is what you bring to the table. You bring the expertise in how to communicate and how to go about getting to the understanding point. And that is what what people want. That's the value people want. People want this from real estate agents. And I don't think they necessarily mind if they know that we get that through utilizing tools. We answer these questions better than our competitors. I think that's what they're looking for when it comes to how real estate agents use AI. Apart from this, how should real estate agents use AI? I would say to 10x your relationship, 10x relationship with people. How can you make people feel more important? How can you make people feel more like they're cared for in the process, things like that. I think that is important. That personal connection, personal relationship becomes super important. Apart from this, just the data part, that AI has replaced. The understanding, people are going to start to build that in more so in terms of online tools and stuff like that, online resources. People are going to, I think, double down on that to be effective. The best employees have deep understanding of their company. That's what makes them effective. That's really also what I wanted to drive home there, is as you continue to build out these memory files, these context files, the AI is continuing to get better and better. You're going to find better and better responses. And it is kind of cool because I'm sure, like any of you, I'm sure all of us that are business owners know what it's like to train someone up and then they quit and they leave, and now you have to train someone else, and it's like, I never want to ever do that again. What I love about Claude and AI is that you do this once and then you're done. All this data is saved somewhere, and the AI does exactly what you want it to do. It doesn't feel bad, and it's never going anywhere. And so that's awesome, unless it replaces this. That's there too. So a good thing to keep in mind, humans versus AI. So humans, humans, they don't do well with long instructions. Like, if any of us have had VAs, if any of us have had transaction coordinators, the longer the instructions are, yeah, they might follow those instructions the first couple times, but to get them to consistently follow that checklist every time is very, very hard. And so what we do is try to find that balance between be overbearing and not too overbearing. What's nice though is humans generally have a lot more intuition and problem solving capabilities, and so they don't need necessarily such clear instructions. And a lot of times we hire people based on their ability to problem solve with the lack of instructions. And so where AI is different is AI is going to you are going to hate your life if you rely on AI to answer and solve problems in the same way that you would a human employee, because it's not going to be able to. And so it needs thorough, long instructions. Having long instructions generally is going to really, really help AI, where you're going to start. And in the beginning, when you're using AI, I would always default to having longer instructions, longer prompts, longer context. I wouldn't worry about shortening all that out. Later on, as you get more and more advanced, then you start to wanting to shorten that out just to boost your own productivity, because the longer the input is with the AI, the longer the response is going to take. But later on, guys, I'll teach you guys how to make vector databases so that you can ask AI questions and the AI can basically go through 5-6 books and then give you the answer, and it will do that at an alarmingly fast rate. And so this is big because AI also is like a doctor. That just because a doctor went through med school doesn't necessarily mean they have every single word from their medical textbooks memorized. And so what a vector database is really just giving the AI those textbooks again, so that I can say things like, okay, when you answer this question on doing a financial analysis, go through this textbook on performing financial analyses and blah, 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 whatever it is that I want to train my AI on. I just download these textbooks, these textbooks, and I put them in vector databases, and then the AI is able to look through it semantically. And so we'll get into that, and let me know in the comments, guys, if this is something that you're interested in or not. But basically, briefly, a vector database is this. We all know a standard database, Excel. You ask for an item, and then the item is returned based on a key to value, kind of like key matching thing. So the key, if you have X key, it will return Y value, and that's how it works. And so you need X key to return Y value. If you don't have the right key, you don't get the right value. And so if you don't have the right MLS ID, you aren't able to search with that MLS ID, and if you type out the MLS ID wrong in the Excel sheet, it's going to return 0 results. What's nice about a semantic database is if you got it wrong, right? It doesn't matter, because it's looking across the database for semantic similarities. And so when I put in a whole book what it's doing is it's transforming all the text into vectors, and then we can search semantically through that database by turning our query into vectors and then looking for which vectors match on a semantic level. If I were to ask an LLM which of these is closer to a dog as a pet, a cat, or a hot dog, semantically an LLM is going to know that a cat is closer to a dog because it appears in more sentences relating to pets than hot dog. And so because of that, it's going to answer that question. And so when you put everything in vector databases, you can ask questions like, what does Alex Hormozi typically advise for making a VSL funnel or something like that? And then it can answer rooted on quotes from the book at an alarmingly fast speed. And so that's something we can go over later. If you guys want, let me know. Moving on, use AI to rewrite yourself at scale. This is huge, guys. Again, we've talked about whisper flow. We're going to talk about using voice transcripts in probably the next video and how you can do that. Yeah, leverage your AI. Here's another thing, guys. The last thing I'll leave you guys with is the age of agencies is over. And this is why I'm super excited about these videos and us being here. And I do not think you guys need to look at it this way of, oh, I need an AI guy. I need an AI company in the future. No, I think that my personal prediction is that the age of agencies are over. It just doesn't make sense to have an SEO guy, a marketing guy, a website guy, an AI guy, because it creates too much stagnation. It creates too much. It's too hard to get things moving at the speed that you want them to move. Because, for example, I noticed the other day on my website, there was something I didn't like, and I literally just took out my phone. I went to Claude Dispatch, and I said, hey, Claude, this thing on my website, can you fix it? It went using the connection to Hostinger, where my website is hosted. It took down my website, fixed the thing, and put back its website, and then it gave me notification the thing is fixed. And I was like, holy crap, if when there was a website guy involved, when you asked him that, you'd wait like 48 hours to get a response. And so a lot of people that even want me to do AI stuff for them, I'm in the boat of, let me teach you guys how to set Claude up, because once it's set up, when you notice things, when you have ideas, it's so much better for you to start working with Claude so that Claude can start getting to know you rather than you work with me to work with Claude. Like, it is significantly better for you guys to just start learning how to use these tools, because, again, the learning curve is just set up and then communicating, just talking to AI, not even typing, just talking. And like, your life is going to get easier as time progresses. And so, again, you guys can, this is totally doable. There is a bit of a learning curve in the sense of, like, yeah, this is new, but trust me, overall, your life is going to get easier. I am not overall a technical person. In fact, for most things, I'm non-technical, and I literally use Claude, and I just screenshot and I say, hey, Claude, how do I do this? Actually, can you just take over my computer screen and just do it for me? That's the world we're headed to. And so that's why, if there's anything to invest your time learning into, it is this. And so that's what I want to leave you guys with. Hope this was helpful. We have more videos on this. If you guys want to know about the tool I use called Whisperflow, which I've used to double my productivity, I type at 120 words per minute. You can check that out as well. And then we're making more videos like this. But again, comment below. And if you guys need help setting up Claude, I do that hourly. Very, very simple. But yeah,